Hi guys, it's Max Power here with another review. This is my Annabelle doll from Scary Closet, The Scary Closet. And this one is a one-to-one replica of the Annabelle from the Conjuring movie. I'm going to go ahead and show you the doll. This is, by the way, the animatronic version of it. There's a static version of this doll that, well, she doesn't move, and this one does the eyes and the neck, as you just saw. So let's go around and I'll show you what she looks like from the back and some of the features of the neck. Okay, I'll give you a close-up of her face. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can really see her from the back. Okay, this is where the neck connects. So if I can get in there. Okay. Close-up of her dress. They say that the dress has been hand-stitched. As you can see, it looks like they have hand-stitched it. This is glued to her, by the way, so there's no way you can, without tearing it, that you'd be able to remove this to expose what her body looks like. There's her flower, rose. It kind of made it look wilted and aged, as it should be. Okay. Her hands. And by pulling up her sleeve, this is about as far of the sculpt as that it goes. And then this is where it connects to the rest of her body. Okay, same thing here. Oops. By the way, there's really no articulation to this doll, not one that you can actually get it situated in. I mean, there is some articulation with the hand, as you can see. I can move it up, kind of turn the arm slightly this way, which is an awkward turn, but you can do it that way if you wish. The other hand, same thing. You know, again, it doesn't stay still or anything. It's just kind of, I guess, a puppet, limp puppet. Okay. The dress, once again, I think they've done a really good job with the aging of it and just making it look rustic. Stains on it. I'd say they probably could have aged it a little bit more, depending what time frame you would say that this doll is from. It looks maybe a little too white, considering according to the movie, what it's been through. But it still looks good nonetheless. All right, without looking like a weirdo, I'm going to pull the dress up here, guys. Okay, this is the body. Okay, these are the feet. And just by touching the feet, there are no toes. So it's just what you see here is the foot with it doesn't feel like there's any toes. They're more like little boots on here. She is soft. There is some padding on the legs from right here. Okay, and there's a joint right here. Okay. Construction-wise, it's hard for me to tell what's underneath here. It feels like it's like a wood or a very tough piping. It's hard to tell. By looking at the hand, it almost looks like it's durable piping of some sort, but again, I'm not able to lift this. All right. So I'm gonna have someone hold the camera for me as I go through some of the details to make it easier on me. All right, so let's reach up a little bit more on the skirt here. As you can see, there is again kind of a hinge, and by touching it, it feels like it's, I don't know what kind of a connection there is here, but it's very solid. I don't know, it feels like it's almost metal that's here that connects the joints. And the same thing here. The hands also have the same kind of joint, you know, again, without being able to open or take the dress off. I can't really tell you, but it's solid. It is a solid doll. Listen to it. It is a solid doll. Okay. Now going to the face. Again, this is the animatronic version. There is a static version which the company makes, and I'm going to go ahead and turn her off. There's a button that I'll show you. Okay. And so the difference is, from what the gentleman told me when I was purchasing her, is that her eyes are actually wooded spheres that are put into the eye socket. The static is not. The static is just the eyeball molded into the resin of the head sculpt. So you can see the separation there. That's something that I really liked in a doll. I mean, I really wish they would have been a glass eyes, because to me, glass eyes are a lot more creepier. They look more real. But in this case, I think they really did a good job, considering they're not glass eyes. They're wood eyeballs, really. That's what they are. Okay. Everything about her, the way they did the sculpt, if we can get in a little closer here, she has kind of a sheen look to her face, I think, to make her look more glossy, more creepy at night. What I'm going to show you here with my finger is the sculpting. This is all sculpted in. It's not painted. That's obvious here. But little blemishes like this, those are also sculpted with some paint applied to it. When we get up closer to the eye socket here, you notice some of the paint application. The eyebrows are painted in. So those are just, it's not sculpted in here. Now this crack right here that you see, that one is sculpted. So you can actually feel the scar and then the paint in it. These right here, those are painted. On this side is, if you can get the camera over here, the same idea. These are not just painted in, it's actually rough, so they've been sculpted into the head of the doll. The big scar right here also is sculpted into the body, the ears. And there we go. Now the hair, I don't know what happened here, but maybe it was this model. I mean, it kind of works for the doll. She's supposed to be kind of battered and been around for a long time. So I don't know if this was done on purpose. I didn't see in some of their promotional things, so it might be something that I might shoot an email for. But if you notice the head up here, the stitching, you can see the stitching here. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm not too sure. I didn't see it in the promos that they had when I was looking to purchase her. So I'm not sure if that was just something they overlooked. But again, for this particular type of item, it does work because it's supposed to be a doll that's been around and has been kicked around, has been, you know, from, if you've seen the Annabelle movie, The Conjuring, it's kind of a doll that's just been thrown around. So it kind of works here, but I'm a little disappointed that this is kind of showing on there. So again, I may shoot them an email to kind of inquire about that, because there's a little bit of sloppiness here, the glue, which I didn't, wasn't too crazy about, but overall, and at nighttime and the way she is displayed, it's not something that you're going to be able to see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick her up, and then I'm going to lay her on the bed, and then you guys, we're going to take a look at her from the back and show you a little bit more about some of the animatronic features. Again, this doll is very heavy. I mean, everything about this doll is premium. If you're looking to buy this doll, you know, it'll be a choice whether you want to spend the money, whether you want to get a prop of Annabelle. While I was doing the research, there was very little competition out there as far as for this company. Mesco makes an Annabelle doll. They actually made a 10-inch doll from their Living Doll Dead collection. I think that's what they call it. And it looked okay for a 10-inch doll. They're going to be making a 18-inch doll here pretty soon. I think that's going to be released in August. But again, it still doesn't look like the doll from the movie. So I was looking for more originality and something that looked more closer to the what they used in the movie. And again, I came across this particular company, and they were the only ones. There was other people that made their own doll handmade at home, and it looked like it was made at home. So I was not impressed, and this is about the only one that I really truly thought that caught the essence of the doll from the movie. Okay, let's take a look at some of the things that come with the animatronic version of this doll. What you're going to find here towards the back, and I'm going to gently move her, even though she's seems kind of rugged. I don't want to break anything from her. This is the back of the doll. Okay. With the animatronic version, you get this piece. This is the batteries. This is what makes her head turn, or at least what it allows it. 4 AA batteries. This is connected to the sensor, and this is a sensor that you have to turn on in order for her to be able to be moved wirelessly. So it's nice that they included a little pouch. I guess they could have put it into the doll, but I've had other collectibles where they've done that, and when you take it in and out, it just kind of ruins the outfit that it comes with. So I guess this was kind of a nice compromise to how they went ahead and did this. So there's no way I can open this, so I don't know what the sensor looks like. But again, everything about her, from her body, seems to be padded. Not a lot of padding, but just enough to give her kind of a body form. Because if it wasn't for the padding, she'd really be just kind of this cylinder. I mean, this is how much padding she has right here. So she's got, this is really her true body right here, like that. So she's got this sculpt right here, and then I guess the hinges, and then what feels like a cylinder that goes to right here, and then right here. And again, since I can't take her dress off, the cylinder connects to another cylinder that goes across here, and then her legs are connected by this, whatever this is. It feels like there's a loop here, and her legs come down. So they did the padding so to give her an actual body, but without this, she would just be this little cylinder, or this long cylinder with a cylinder here, and then the legs cylinders clamped together. Okay, moving her back this way. Okay, again, This is about as much articulation you're going to get. It's not a stationary articulation. It just won't stay. So this doll, like the one in the movie, wasn't made to stand up by itself. It's just kind of a stuffed animal, really. Just kind of sits there, and you can put it in a sitting position, which is about as much as you can do with her. Put her in the sitting position. She's kind of a floppy, you know. Certainly wouldn't give this to a child. This is super heavy. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring her back to the area where I had her sitting down. Okay. Her arms this way. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and show you the animatronic features yet again, but this time with a close-up of the actual remote control. This is what it comes with. Pretty big, but I think they did this on purpose just because the animatronic versions, I guess you're supposed to be able to use them for haunted houses and things like that, and you want to be pretty far away. So if they've given you this monstrous remote control that has this antenna that extends pretty far, so it gives you a pretty good reception for the wireless feature on the doll. So they always say that for this specific model that you want to turn on the controller first and then turn on the doll, the button that I showed you guys before. Turn that on, and that turns her features on. Okay. All right. So what we have here, and then let's this way. Oops. So for those that are getting this version of the doll, I want to show you what the buttons do. This remote control, I think it's really more specific for RC vehicles because it's got all kinds of controls here and there, and really there's only two motions, the eyes and the head. So, you know, why it has all these buttons, for what? They've kind of tied it all together. But there is a few little things that are kind of cool that they did for these extra buttons, even though they don't do that much, that I'll show you. Let's begin with the motion here. Okay, so this button right here moves her eyes. So I'll move the eyes this way. Okay. The other button here moves her neck. Okay. Now again, looking at some of the features here of the remote control, there's these extra buttons right here, and then bring it up close to the camera, this right here, and they're kind of a slider buttons here. They go up and down and to the side. I have her neck facing me directly, so it's pretty static. If I were to use the slider slightly, I can turn her eyes slightly to the right. Not a whole lot, but if you can look at the doll, her eyes are now kind of looking to my right side. If I turn it back, the slider, I can straighten her eyes to the middle or just slightly turn them to the left. So I can kind of leave her there just like that, give her kind of a slight looking a little bit to the left, kind of, you know, is she looking at me, is she not looking at me type of deal, and then straighten her eyes out. By doing that, it allows me more freedom to use this slider to bring her eyes, or to move her eyes a lot more than they did before. So for example, if I moved it to the right, her eyes are looking a little bit that way, I can just move the slider and she doesn't, there's just a little bit less to the left of, well, from the camera's perspective that she can look at, because her eyes are already turning to the right. So there we go, like this, and vice versa here. That's about as far as I can turn her eyes there, because she was already looking that way. If I turn it to the middle, she's in the middle, and I get full motion left and right. Same thing with the neck. I'll turn this slightly to the right. That's how I had her when I came into the room, where she was just looking at there, and I didn't need to do anything with here. And then that gave me more of a motion to, or a less motion to the left, and more motion to the right. Now she's practically looking over her shoulder. Okay, if I turn it to the other way, same idea. Okay. Towards the middle, she's stationary looking up front, and I have the same range left and right. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing to have those out there. The remote control also has, to zoom in here, another pair of switches. All that does is just change the way the controllers move. So if I change this one, I reverse the motion. Instead of looking to the right, pushing this way, she'll turn to the left, like if I was turning it this way, and that's all that does. And the same thing here. So I won't show you that because that takes too long. This remote control has ridiculous amount of batteries. There's 8 batteries that actually go in this thing. Again, this was probably made for an RC and they needed the juice, but for this doll, I don't know. I mean, they might last a little longer, but if you're gonna get this, be prepared, because you need 8 batteries for the remote control, and you need 4 batteries for the back of the wireless that she's got behind the dress. So all in all, the animatronic motion is this. We're going to zoom in so you guys can take a look at this. So if you're looking at her, she's looking at you. If that's not creepy, I don't know what is. Okay, I turned her off. Alright, that's pretty much what I have as far as the doll's concerned. If you have any questions, you can certainly put in the comments if you have any questions about anything about the doll.